Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So today we got an update for the PL18EV, and this one is the 1035 I believe. Trying to work my way through all these updates for you, so you know which ones work, which ones to avoid. But yeah, let's bring you in for a close-up look and see how we get on with this one. So for this one, you're going to need your transmitter. You're going to need a good quality, or preferably the one supplied with the PL18EV USB cable. So it's USB-A to micro USB. We're going to want to spin the transmitter over, and then we've got the little connection socket in the top. So you're going to make sure you get this plugged the right way around. That'll get us transmitter all connected. Then we're going to have to do a few prerequisites for this. So first off, you're going to want to go to flysky-cn.com. I will drop the link directly to the page in the description as always. Go down to surface, then we want to scroll down to the PL18EV, scroll down to bottom, downloads and upgrades, and then we can see the firmware is 1035, that's the latest. We've got an uprated user manual, quick start guide, and then you're going to want to download Flysky Assistant 3.3.5 for Windows or the Mac version at the bottom. I've also got the upgrader and downgrader for the receivers, but for this one we're going to need Assistant downloaded. I have done a video on 3.3.5. Make sure you fully uninstall the older version first. And let's have a quick look. Have we got a change log for this? Yeah, we've got some release notes, so we can quickly have a look at this. Zoom in a little bit, make it a bit bigger for you. And for those that don't read Mandarin, we've got new model adaptation. So we've got a sailing ship and a simulation ship image. Under optional features, they've added reef. We've got set as race mode. I think this would be better as set as do not disturb mode, because race mode tends to make people think it's just for racing. Basically what this is, it just drops off the alarms for telemetry and signal loss, which if you're running this with excavators or a boat or a truck, you're not really going to be that bothered about signal loss. If you're in a hall with a whole bunch on you with these, you're probably going to want to click that option and just disable all alarms, especially just telemetry and signal. They're not really important. Under RX setup menu, so we've got low signal voice alarm features now. Alarm can be set, and you can change how many times it cycles, re-alerts I believe. Telemetry loss is the same. We've got some different alarm sensitivity options and everything on that to configure. Under system menu, you've got two new options for power saving. Basically these will just turn off if you drop the RC off, so the receiver's no longer connected. You can have it drop into a really low power state for when you're programming transmitter, or if you're just waiting and you've not got your RC on, just to save a bit of power, and some backlight functions as well. It does mention we've got some bug fixes, so the display status of digital switches has been corrected from Chinese or Mandarin to on-off. I believe that you could fix that by reinstalling the old firmware, but that bug's supposed to be banished completely. And then just an explanation of what the power saving settings do. So it can approximately save 1.6 times the power compared to previous version. And again, we've just got it continued, telling you a bit more of what the power saving does. There is a note on bottom here, and it does tell you don't try and restore model memories from older versions of Assistant. On the new version they don't work. Once you've updated this, you will have to rebind your models to each model slot once you put the model memories back on, and it is always advised once you do a firmware update, run calibration, but I'll take you through all that. So I will pop a link in description to this, which will take you straight to the PL18EV page. So for me, let's have a look what we've got. So I'm going to go to my desktop. I've created a Flysky Assistant folder, and I keep all my transmitters in here. So we've got a PL18 folder. So what I'm going to do is grab the firmware. I'm going to download that. I'm going to put it in my PL18 folder, in my Assistant folder, so I know where it is. So we'll get that downloaded. As I say, I've done a video on how to download and install Assistant, but it's pretty easy. If you do get an issue where you install Assistant and it tells you that a .dll file is missing, it's probably because you haven't got the redistributable Windows, I think it's C++ installed. But if any of you guys get stuck, just drop me a message on video or join my Facebook group, and I can send you a link to get that component of Windows installed. But for now, we can power up his transmitter. So first thing we're going to want to do is open Assistant, and this is a lot quicker. So you get the transmitter beep, it says it's detected. We can click on it. We want to go to export, load model TX, and basically this is where you select just the ones you want to back up. I haven't really got anything set up on this because I've just been playing around with it and I've got far too many transmitters to get through. So I'll just leave a couple ticked so you can see what it does. You can just click all and it'll tick them all. The more you tick, the longer it takes to back up, but it's not a hugely drawn out process. So for this, I'm going to go back to my desktop, Assistant V3 folder, down to my PL18EV folder, and click Save. And this is exporting our model memories. Occasionally when you do a firmware update, if it's a big firmware update, it'll rewrite the whole system memory and then it wipes your model memories. It's always better to make a fresh model backup when you're upgrading your transmitter. And at least that way, if anything goes wrong or if you completely drop and break your transmitter and you have to buy a new one, or if you've got that many RCs that you want to buy a new one, you can transfer model memories between them pretty quickly. As you see, it doesn't take too long to back these model memories up. But then I complete. So what you can do, and I advise against doing this, but you can go firmware update. We've already made backup. You can go to update, and if the new version is available in here, Flysky do pop them in here eventually. You can click it and click continue. I strongly advise against doing that because it takes forever. It's really, really slow. For me, you're better off close that. Then we need to get his transmitter back on. So let's see if I can get this in focus for you. It's about as good as I'm going to get it with these screens. So we want to go into his menus. Then into system. Then you want to scroll down. And then you want TX firmware update. This will put the transmitter in update mode. So once we've got it in update mode, you'll see it go off, it'll come back on. You'll hear the Windows make the noise that it's detected a USB device. So once we've done that, we can go into our desktop, Assistant V3 folder, go down to my PL18EV folder, and then we've got this one. Before you open this, always make sure you've got Assistant closed and you've already got the transmitter in update mode. Then you don't have a problem with it not detecting it in here. You can see as original version is 1033, and then our New version is 1035 and it's detected, ready for update. We can just click update, and it is so much quicker to update this using this update software rather than Assistant. I also find it's less risky because you're running just a solid program. It's just an updater, it does nothing else. And we're already at 40%. You do get a little status notification telling you when it's erasing the little flash chip and then programming it. The big difference with this, it's not relying on an internet connection. If you've got this update on, like on this, on the Legion Go, you can take this somewhere with no internet connection. You'd still be able to update people's transmitters. You can use Assistant in offline mode as well, to back up and restore model memories. So you can do the whole process completely offline once you've got these downloaded. Whereas if you try and update through Assistant, you need an online connection to do that. But we're currently at 72%. I don't like to skip any of these because if people are trying to follow, occasionally they do freeze at a certain percentage. Just don't unplug your transmitter, else you'll have a paperweight and then you'll be messaging me asking me for a bin file on some instructions on how to use STM32 to recover your transmitter. Which I don't mind doing. I've done that for quite a few guys when they've bricked them. It is possible to restore Flysky transmitters pretty easy. You do need to know how to use STM32 though. And I believe you have to have an account. It's a free account, but you have to set up an account with the software manufacturers of STM32, which some people don't like giving over the details. Quite a powerful little program that. I have used it to install EdgeTX on the PL18 and then recover it back to Flysky firmware. But as you see, that's now rebooted. It says fully up to date, so we can close as updater. If we go back to his transmitter, let's see if I can do a slightly better job of focusing. So it asks us to calibrate. So it'll ask you to put all the sticks in the middle. I believe they all are as close to the middle as we can get. That looks about middle. Then it tells you to move them all to their extremes, which we can do. Don't forget your little twisties on the PL18EV. Then we got these critters at the bottom. And lastly, we got these two side ones. I think that's everything. So we get calibration successful. Then it'll ask us to update the RF module. Nice and easy to do. As a rule, if there's an update for the RF module, I would update your receivers as well. But then we can go in to start using it. It does say you need to update the receiver's firmware and rebind receivers before use. But I'll cover that in more videos. This one's going to be long enough as it is. So we'll drop that back down. Let's get focused on the little Lenovo Legion Go. So now all we need to do is restore his model memories. So we open up Assistant. It'll then detect our PL18EV. You can see it's detecting new firmware. If you've got receivers bound to it, you can do it through here. And I believe you can do it through there. If they're not bound, you can put them into forced update mode, but I'll have to cover that in another video. So what we want to do at the moment is retrieve our model memories. So if we go back to his desktop, Assistant V3 folder, down to our PL18EV folder, click on his backup. That'll show us what we've got. We can click import. And if you've got loads, you can just tick that and it'll tick all, and you can add them. If you want to get rid of them, you can press that. If you want to add one at a time, you can do it that way. If you want to add another, you can do that. If you want to reorganize what order they're in, you can click on the one you want to move and you can press up and down on here and it'll swap order. Once you've got them in the order you want them on your transmitter, you can press OK, and then it'll start restoring them. And as I say, the more model memories you have on this, the longer it will take, but it's not an issue. If a system crashes at any point when you're backing up or restoring just model memories, not the firmware, but if it does crash, you can just restart the transmitter and start again. It won't corrupt anything. The only reason that I say I don't like doing the firmware to it through Assistant, I mean, as you see there, good example, it then crashed. So we can just reopen Assistant. It'll redetect as transmitter. We can go on it, go to import again. And this is why I say don't use Assistant for doing the actual firmware updates. If it crashes doing the models, it doesn't do anything. It won't break your transmitter. If it crashes doing the firmware update, there's a very good chance it can brick your transmitter. They are all restorable. It's just, depending on how it bricks it, it's not that easy, but they are all fully recoverable if you do brick them, and I have recovered it for quite a few people now. So it's not a massive issue, it's just an inconvenience, but it is always worth keeping them up to date. I have yet to see any transmitter get bricked using the standalone firmware updater, so they do work really well. That's why I always suggest use it instead of Assistant. But now we've got it all backed up and we've got our model memories back. So we've got it restored, we've got our model memories, and should be away and off you go using your PL18EV and it's updated. But yeah, that is fully updated to the latest version of the OS and model memories restored. So hopefully that'll clear some of the confusion that some of you guys have and answer a few questions. And as long as you follow how I've done this, there's no risk in bricking your transmitter. It'll fully function and you've got a fully working backup of your model memories should you need to recover them for whatever reason. If you buy a new transmitter, if you want to share model memories with friends or family. But yeah, fully up and working, and I think it's about time we wrap this one up. So there you have the PL18EV on 1035 firmware using the latest version of Assistant. Yeah, I've had a few crashes backing up the model memories or restoring them, but ultimately it pretty much works as intended now. I think so far I've done the 4 of the MB4 radios and the PL18, and I've only seen it crash twice. Once on this, once on the original MB4, but it don't cause any issues. You just go through a process to restore them again and it goes through. Strongly advise using the actual standalone updater to do the firmware update though. I would not trust Assistant. But yeah, if you've got any questions or you run into any issues, feel free to leave comments below or join the WTFR Facebook group. I usually leave a QR code thing around here somewhere. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.